Everyone, it's 6 o'clock, so I will call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for the City of Mishawaka for July 2021. Carrie, would you call the roll, please?
Charles Kruger.
Here.
Chris Torty.
Here.
Marcia Wells.
Here.
Larry Stilson.
Here.
Joel Dendu.
Here.
Thank you. On the screen, you will see the rules of procedure for tonight's meeting. First, there will be a presentation by the appellate. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the appeal may then have their chance. Anyone who wishes to speak against the appeal will have an opportunity. There will be a right of rebuttal by the appellant. Any staff recommendations and board discussions will take place, and then there will be a board vote. When you do come to the podium, if you would please give your name and address. The June 2021 meeting minutes, are there any corrections, changes, additions?
No.
No? Okay. I will take a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Is there any conflict of interest among the board?
Nope.
No.
Okay. We will go ahead then with Appeal 21-17, an appeal submitted by Jolynn McQueen requesting a developmental variance for 1803 Delaware Street to allow a roof over a front stoop with a 1-foot exterior side yard setback. And I understand there is someone attending virtually for this appeal. Is there anyone attending virtually who'd like to speak on this? This is for 1803 Delaware Street, the McQueens. I'll give you just a minute.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Please state your name and address.
This is Jared McQueen, 602 East Jefferson Street, Plymouth, Indiana. I own A&M Home Services, which is doing the workout at Jolynn McQueen's at 1803 Delaware.
Okay, would you go ahead with your appeal, please?
Didn't know I had to do anything. All we're looking
Just
to
state
do
what
is-
you're looking to do, please.
Okay. All we're looking to do is she had an old metal awning there, new roof, and all we're doing is putting the concrete that's already there. We're just bringing the roof line out to the concrete stoop that's already there.
And it looks from these pictures that the work's already begun? Is that correct?
We didn't realize we needed a variant.
Okay, all right. Is there anyone else, either in the room or attending virtually, who'd like to speak in favor of this appeal?
No, I didn't really invite anyone. My sister's at a ball game.
Okay, thank
for her
you.
kid.
Anyone else
Okay.
beside the appellant? Anyone to speak against the appeal? Okay, if not, are there board questions?
No.
Anybody? Okay. Mr. Prince, anything?
Nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Then I will take a motion, please.
Madam Chairman, I move to approve Appeal 21-17 as written.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Appeal 21-17. Carrie?
Charles Kruger.
Yep.
Yes.
Chris Torty.
Yes.
Marcia Wells.
Yes?
Larry Stilson.
Yes.
Joel Dendu.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That appeal passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. McQueen.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, moving on, Appeal 21-18, an appeal submitted by Jeff W. and Bambi L. Williams requesting a developmental variance for 5413 Zappia Drive to allow a deck with an 11-foot rear yard setback. Is there someone here to speak to that appeal? Give us your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Scott Conkey.
I reside at 23901 Ardmore Trail, South Bend, Indiana. We're seeking a variance to replace an existing deck that was put on prior to the owner purchasing the home that is in need of repair. Basically, the deck is there now, is the only rear entrance off this structure. And without that, repair to this deck is going to be dangerous at some point due to its age.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of Appeal 21-18? Anyone to speak against the appeal? Okay, Board, do you have questions or comments?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, Mr. Prince, anything?
No.
Okay, we'll take a motion.
I move that we approve Appeal 21-18.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Appeal 21-18. Carrie?
Charles Kruger,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes.
Marcia Wells,
Yes.
Larry Stillson,
Yes.
Joel Dendue.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That appeal passes. Thank you, sir. Next is Appeal 21-19, an appeal submitted by Matthew and Michelle Summer requesting a developmental variance for 2620 North Main Street to allow a 5-foot open fence with a 0-foot exterior side yard setback.
Hi, I'm Michelle Summer. I live at 2620 North Main Street. The reason that we're asking for this, we did not want to lower the fence height because we have dogs that jump, and we didn't want to bring the setback back to what the normally is required, because if you see, it would almost take out the side yard and we would have a very little space, which we wanted the larger space for the dogs. So, we are getting open face, so
I have a question for
Yes.
Ms. Summer. Are you okay with the recommendation of either a 10-foot corner cut or to go straight across?
yes, we were okay. We were looking at the corner cut.
So
Yes.
you agree to doing one or the other?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this appeal? Anyone wishing to speak against the appeal? Okay, are there other questions or comments?
No.
Okay. Nothing from you, Ken? All right. I will take a motion.
Madam Chairman, I move that we approve Appeal 21-19. Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve Appeal 21-19. Carrie?
Charles Kruger,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes.
Marcia Wells,
Yes.
Larry Stillson,
Yes.
Joel Dendue.
Yes.
Thank you. That appeal passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is Appeal 21-20, an appeal submitted by JDAT LLC requesting a use variance for 1035 East McKinley Avenue to allow for the continuation of automobile repair in I-1 Light Industrial District.
Hello, I'm Jerry D. Turk, authorized member for JDAT LLC, and last year we did this same thing. I'd like to have more of a continued use variance, if that's possible, more than 1 year, so I don't need to come back every year. The proprietor of the property is perfectly happy just installing tires and wheels, and that was his sole purpose, and he should conform to that work for the future for a long time.
Okay. And he has complied with that
And I do have
thus
trouble
far.
hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. He has complied with that thus far. He's just doing tires.
I can't, can my wife ask?
Of course.
Mr. for me?
He's complied. He's complied.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's here, if you have a question.
Oh, okay. All right. Sure.
And there have been no complaints, I guess, for the city for the past year,
Okay,
so,
okay,
And-
thank you.
And how this is written, it ends September 1st, 2021.
yes.
Okay.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor of this appeal? Anyone wishing to speak against the appeal? Okay, are there other questions or comments? Okay, I will take a motion.
I move that Appeal 21-20 be approved.
Second?
There is a motion and a second to approve Appeal 21-20. Carrie?
Charles Kruger,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes.
Marcia Wells,
Yes?
Larry Stillson,
Yes.
Joel Denter.
Yes.
Okay, that appeal passes 5-0. Thank you. Appeal 21-21, an appeal submitted by Andrew B. Ladow requesting a developmental variance for 933 East Grove Street to allow a solid fence with a 2-foot exterior side yard setback to remain. Hi.
Hello, I'm Andrew Ladow, 933 East Grove Street, Mishawaka. I'm just requesting a variance to let the fence, solid privacy fence I installed remain. It's closer than it's like 2-foot step back instead of the 12. I feel that if I go for a full 12 and a half, it's going to cut too much into the yard, might as well not even have it. But I'd like to be able to block off from having to watch all the people in the cars drive by all the time.
Okay. There's another fence there.
There is an open chain link fence that has been there since I've owned the property, or lived there since 1985. That's came with the house.
Okay. And you intend to leave it there?
Yes, I
Okay.
intend to leave that.
All right.
And I did back my car in and out several times, making sure I can see properly when I'm backing in and out with that fence at that spot.
Okay.
Why I chose that spot.
Okay, great, thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this appeal? Anyone wishing to speak against it? Board questions, comments? Okay, Mr. Prince, you have anything?
No.
Okay. I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Appeal 21-21.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Appeal 21-21. Carrie?
Charles Kruger,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes.
Marcia Wells,
Yes.
Larry Stillson,
Yes.
Joel Denter.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That passes 5-0. Thank you. Appeal 21-22, an appeal submitted by Pizza Hut of America, Inc., requesting a developmental variance for 2777 Lincoln Way East to allow for a reduction in the number of parking spaces from 26 to 22.
Hi,
Welcome back.
thank you. Good evening. Mike Huber, Avon-Marsh Consultants. We're at 315 West Jefferson Boulevard in South Bend. And we were here, as you noted, last month with a little more conceptual site plan. We've since been able to kind of dial in the survey boundaries of our property, and we've also run into a couple roadblocks with the McDonald's folks behind us who are at this time not granting us an easement to use that area behind. We thought we weren't sure what the easement status was of that last month. So what you see in front of you this evening is a newly updated site plan that we're proceeding forward with. I will let you know, we have reached out to NDOT on the opportunity to potentially acquire some of the right-of-way on the north side of our property, between our property and Lincoln Way Avenue. They have responded positively to that. Unfortunately, it's a best-case 18-month process, more likely potentially 24-month process for that process to actually go through. So our intent would be to go ahead and acquire some additional property, push that parking and the entry to the front a little bit when that happens, add some additional parking directly in front of the building there, so we'll probably get another 3 or 4 spaces back of the additional 4 we're requesting this evening. So hopefully it'll be a wash when we get to the end of this, but understanding that we're not able to do that, we're asking for the variance from the 26 to the 22, as we did discuss last month. As we noted, the 22 does kind of allow us to meet the minimum, the 50% seating capacity of the dining room plus the 7 full-time employees at the peak time of employment, so peak shift. So We're appreciative again of your consideration. Again, this is more likely the site plan we'll be bringing forward when we come for site plan approval to the Plan Commission next month. And then at some point, once we finish with the NDOT process, we would have the ability and the flexibility to add some additional parking back. So
Okay,
happy to answer any questions you might have.
all right. Any questions for Mike?
You have a tenant for this?
There is a tenant. At this time, we're not in position to disclose who the restaurant franchise is, but it'll be a national, it'll be a national fast food.
So somebody will be moving in?
Correct. It'll be all brand-new building. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're being ringed.
Your phone's ringing.
Well, I'm busy right now.
So it's the same
Everything's
restaurant as before?
Everything's the
Nothing
same as
changed.
previously. We just dialed in the site plan a little bit more based on having the understanding of what's happening now at the back of the property and understanding kind of what we're doing at the front of the property with NDOT. So
Okay.
So how does that lack of easement, can you briefly
Sure.
describe how that changed things?
So it changed things to the extent that we had provided an additional 24 feet for the drive in and out on Mary Ellen, which did kind of reduce the amount of, we lost about 3 or 4 parking spaces with that. Whereas before, we could just come straight out on that easement, and we didn't have to provide that access drive, so we had an additional 2 parking spaces on each side. And I'll also remind, we are giving up the direct access onto Lincoln Way, and we're accessing the property in 2 areas directly off Mary Ellen for this property.
Right.
So nothing off Lincoln Way at this point?
Correct, that would be correct. And even in the future, we won't access off Lincoln Way. We'll hopefully be able to get access to some of that land for additional parking, but we won't actually have any direct access onto Lincoln Way from this property.
Okay,
It's all through Mary Ellen.
good, all right. Mr. Prince, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask this or not, but I'm assuming that you know who the tenant is probably going to be.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just thinking if it's Chick-fil-A, there's no way that's going to work.
Right, so Chick-fil-A wouldn't be looking at this
Got it.
site, but part of it is our role as a regulatory authority, it's not to look at the tenant. And we determined a minimum standard, if you will.
Okay.
So this is bare bones, in staff's opinion, regarding the appropriate amount of parking for it, but we're dealing with an existing situation, and that's why we feel it's appropriate.
Okay, all right,
Our-
thank you.
Our client is attending virtually the meeting as well, if they had some questions for
Oh,
him.
okay.
But I do know in our discussion, he has indicated they have had sites a little bit even smaller than this, that they've had in a little bit more dense urban areas, that based on the efficiencies that they have in terms of being able to, how quickly they can process cars through, that they're not concerned, and the national franchisee is not concerned about anything related to this site.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And all of those volumes that you communicated last time.
That's
and
accurate. It's
all
the same.
accurate.
Yep.
I think if the tenant feels this is adequate, and meets their needs, I certainly don't have a problem.
Okay,
Please don't take this question the wrong way. Can you speak some to if they're not concerned with 22, why they'd want to spend the extra money to purchase from NDOT in order to have more parking spaces?
Sure. I think it gives just a little bit more flexibility, and it adds to the land of the property for a potential future resale or use or whatever of the property, right? So,
Okay, thank you.
I would phrase it as it's not ideal, it's acceptable, but, if you're given the opportunity, you would want to provide more. And we've encouraged them to do that, so that's
Right.
part of.
Thank you.
all right. Right, thank you, sir.
thank you.
Is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor of this appeal? Anyone who'd like to speak against the appeal? Any other questions from the board? Okay, I will take a motion.
I move that we approve Appeal 21-22.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve Appeal 21-22. Carrie?
Charles Kruger,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes.
Marcia Wells,
Yes.
Larry Stilson,
Yes.
Joel Dendu.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That appeal passes 5-0. Next is Appeal 21-23, an appeal submitted by 3515 Main Street LLC, requesting a developmental variance for 3515 North Main Street to increase the maximum building size from 8,000 square feet to 10,105 square feet for a building addition. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Cunningham at 325 South Lafayette Boulevard, South Bend, Indiana. I'm with JPR. We have the privilege of representing 3515 Main Street as the engineering consultant for the project. The owner is wishing to invest and improve in the property in an effort to meet their current and future tenants' needs by constructing an addition of approximately 3,696 square feet onto the existing building of 6,380. The addition would be in line with the existing building, meeting all front, side, and rear yard setbacks. The building materials would continue that masonry look, which would be consistent with the existing building and adjacent development within the area. As part of the project, we'll also be removing some additional parking while remaining above that minimum zoning ordinance standard in order to meet the City of Mishawaka drainage standards. And we will also be adding fairly extensive landscaping in order to aesthetically bring value to the property, be a good neighbor, and meet the Mishawaka zoning ordinance.
And you do have at least the 41
We do.
required parking spaces. That's not going to,
No, the owner feels that 41, they should be just fine to serve their clients' needs there.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this appeal? Anyone wishing to speak against the appeal? Are there questions or comments from the board?
No.
Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that Appeal 21-23 be approved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve Appeal 21-23. Carrie?
Charles Kruger,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes.
Marcia Wells,
Yes.
Larry Stillson,
Yes.
Joel Dender.
Yes.
Thank you. That appeal passes 5-0. Any old business, Mr. Prince?
No.
Anything new?
Not at this time.
Okay, any privilege of the floor? Seeing none, we are adjourned, and we will see everyone in August. Thank you, everybody.